Hello and good afternoon. So how are you doing? It's weekend over here, and it's a Saturday afternoon, and it's a beautiful day. We just want to say thank you to the Lord for a beautiful day. All right, it's been a little while. I've been busy with a few things, but I'm gonna get that one sorted and get back to doing lives as normal. Anyways, I've got a word that I wanted to share with you guys, and it's coming from the book of John, chapter 5, verse 1, going all the way to verse 28 to verse 30. So John 5, verse 1 to the end, which is 30. Verse 1 to verse 30. So basically the story there is a very popular story of a man who was paralyzed, who Jesus healed in Jerusalem. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the story. That Jesus went to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish feasts. So in Jerusalem, near the ship gate, there is a pool called Bethsaida. That pool, it had 5 porches, which the angel would come and stir them up, and then when the waters are stirring up, anyone who is sick, when they jump in while the water has just been stirred up by the angel, that person will get healed. So there were many people, many disabled people who could go and, lie by the pool. Some were blind, some could not walk, some could hardly move. So among these disabled people who were lying by the pool of Bethsaida, there was one man that had been paralyzed for 38 years. So Jesus comes across this man. He sees the man who has not been able to walk for 38 years. Jesus saw him lying there by the pool. And Jesus, being a son of God and God himself, he knew that the man had been in that condition for a long time. So he went to him and said, "Do you want to get well?" This is what Jesus asked the man. And his answer kind of like surprised me, but somehow I understood. When I was reading it, I understood why he answered like that. The disabled man replied, "Sir, I have no one to help me into the pool when an angel stirs up the water." So the disabled man says, "I have no one. I have no one to help me into the pool." This kind of like gave me a picture or an understanding of saying that if he's saying "I have no one," that means there are some other disabled or sick people who were by the pool of Bethsaida who had someone to help them to go in the pool. And probably maybe this man had been sitting here by the pool of Bethsaida, and maybe he saw people being helped into the pool, and these people getting healed and leaving the pool, and he was stuck there for a long time, like Every time that the water is stirred up, people would go and get healed, but he was stuck in one position. In other words, the way he answered to say that, I have nobody to help me go into the pool. It's like by the time I am trying, I try to get in, but someone else always goes ahead of me. So it's like I try, I try to get in, but there is always somebody who will go faster than me. There's always somebody who will go faster than me. In other words, I'm watching other people's lives moving forward, and it's like I can't move on. So I've come to a point whereby I've given up. I'm asking myself, is this situation ever going to change? Because when you think of it, this man, when you talk of somebody who is paralyzed, it's the same as saying somebody had a stroke and their hands, they cannot use them, their legs, they cannot use them. So basically this person needed somebody to move them from where they are to go into the pool. Now, the way he says, there is no one to help me to go into the pool, it gives me a picture. The Bible doesn't clearly say that, but it gives me a picture of saying that there is somebody who was being helped. There are other people who were being helped, and he could see that. But these people didn't bother to give him a hand. They could see that this person is paralyzed, he's really sick, and he's already by the pool. The only thing that he needs is the help to get inside the pool. But the community, the neighbors, the friends, whoever were close to him by the pool of Bethsaida, let him down. This man came to the point of giving up. So the time that Jesus was asking him, do you want to get well? This man was thinking, how on earth will I even get well? Because on my own I've tried to go to the pool, but I can't. So it looks like, and the way I am paralyzed, I'm never gonna have that chance of. So it's like in his mind he's thinking, I would like, but how? But because Jesus knew the situation that this man had been in, the Bible doesn't say how long the man had been on the pool, by the pool of Bethsaida, but it says that the sickness that he had it for 38 years. So Jesus asked him this question, and the man answers that he doesn't have anybody to help him. If Jesus wanted, he would have said to him, that's not the question that I asked you. But Jesus didn't go into all those details because Jesus understood what this man has gone through, understood that this man has seen people pass him by, get their healing and gone. People pass him by with help, like other people who were maybe blind or who had different problems. They were helped by others into the pool. He was at that same position. He was at that same position. When a person is paralyzed, they cannot move. They cannot move their hand. They cannot move their leg. He was paralyzed. So he was in that very same position. But from where he was, he could see people move on with their lives. So basically, everybody knew about this man who had this sickness of over 38 years. Now, after Jesus healing him, answer like that, Jesus doesn't bother him with a lot of questions. But instead, Jesus says to him, get up, pick up your mat, and walk. So Jesus does not question about, you don't believe, where is your faith, and all that. But Jesus, I believe he analyzes the whole situation and see that this man has tried, but he could have used the help of the people around him. The people did not help him, and the situation that he is in. And Jesus, seeing that, he just had mercy on him. So he said, get up, pick up your mat, and walk. And the man was healed right away. He picked up his mat and walked. So when the man was told to get up and pick up his mat and walk, this is what the Bible is saying. The man was healed right away. So I am picturing this thing of saying, the moment Jesus said these things, before the man even got up, he was healed. So if his hands were not working, he felt strength to his hands. If his legs were not working, he felt strength to his legs. After that process, that's when this man got up, picked up his mat, and started to walk. Now we are talking about a man who has been sitting by the pool for a long time. For how many years, I don't know. But he has had this sickness for 38 years. And people knew him. And nobody helped him to say, the water has been stirred. Let's help each other. Let's carry him and just drop him in the water. Nobody did that. This day, Jesus comes from out of the blue, from somewhere, just walks in and tells him to pick up his mat. Get up, pick up your mat, and walk. And this man does it. He does it without even asking Jesus, who are you? What do you mean? Without questioning him. This man, it might be because he believed, or it might be because after Jesus said it, straight away, the healing process, went through his body, and then he was healed straight away. And he didn't even have a chance to find out who this man was. And Jesus disappeared in the cloud. Because it was the time of the Jewish feast, so there were people around, walking around. Now, the man picks up his mat and started walking. Guess what? The same people who did not help him, the same people who were looking at him each and every day by that side of the pool of Bethsaida, the same people complained. The same people disagreed with him. This is what they said. Just so you know, all these things happened. It was a Sabbath day where nobody is allowed to do any work. So the Jewish leaders said to the man, now they didn't just come and start speaking to this man, but they saw the man carrying a mat in his hand and walking. Now they recognize him. They said, this man is that one who has been on by the pool of Bethsaida for a long time. A paralyzed man. Now he's walking. He looks fine. He looks strong. If I had to see somebody like that, I would celebrate. I would be like, oh my God, what happened? Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Oh, da, da, da. Hear what they said. So the Jewish leaders said to the man who had been healed, it is Sabbath day. The law does not allow you to carry your mat. That part got me. That part got me. It is Sabbath day. The Lord does not allow you to carry your mat. In other words, it is Sabbath day. So the law does not allow you to get healed. So go back to your mat. Don't carry it, but go back to your sickness. Go back to your problems. Go back to where you were. So it's like the enemy now is attacking in a way of saying, God has delivered you out of that situation. But the moment you have come out, straight away, you're meeting opposition. And somebody is telling you, how come? Things have happened like that, you know? How come you are carrying your mat on Sabbath day? In other words, it's like, okay, you can get healed, but you need to be healed in our own terms, you know? The way we will agree with it. You can't just be healed any day and any time. That kind of like touched me. Because sometimes you go through situations. Sometimes you kind of like go through situations which the people around you are aware of. And these people who are around you, they are aware of it, and they are the ones who might have the solution. Not necessarily to go out of their way. For example, the help that the people who were around him were supposed to give, it was just a help of taking him from where he was next to the pool and put him inside the water. That's all. This man was already by the pool. So, people, your neighbors, your friends, your relatives, whoever they are, they know you have had this problem for 38 years. They don't want to help you. But the moment God has sent his help, the very same people, they start to complain. So it's like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to keep on suffering? Like, I am celebrating. Can't you celebrate with me? No, they're saying no. They're saying no. You need to go back to that sickness. Go and put the mat down by the pool and lie down there because it's Sabbath day. You can't be healed today. The man replied, the one who has been healed. The man replied, the one who made me well said to me, pick up your mat and walk. So this man who was sick and has been healed, he's being challenged by the Jewish leaders to say, it is Sabbath day. You are not allowed to pick your mat. You are not allowed to be healed. It's like, go back. We don't care whether you are sick or you are going to die. You just have to go back to that mat which you were on. Because right now you are breaking the law. So this man is surprised to say, but you have seen me how I've been suffering. You have seen me how long I've been by that pool waiting each and every day to see if somebody would help me to go in the pool, but nobody did. Now that I have had somebody who has had mercy on me and has healed me, and you are telling me that it's Sabbath day. Like, really? So this man says to him, but even if you're saying that, the one who made me well said to me, pick up your mat and walk. That is why I'm carrying it. Because he commanded me to do it. You know, so I'm doing what God has told me. I'm doing what God has told me. God has told me that my situation now, it is finished. I don't have to worry about it anymore. You know, I'm doing what God has asked me to do. He said, get up, pick up your mat and walk. That's what I'm doing. The the Jewish leaders asking, who is this fellow who told you to pick it up and walk? Now this man who was healed, had no idea who Jesus was. Because this thing, after Jesus coming to ask him if he wants to be well and all that, it happened very quickly. Jesus didn't have, that very whole conversation with him. The moment he was healed, the moment he was getting up and picking the mat, Jesus had already left. So he didn't have any idea of this man was. So he didn't know who Jesus was. So he didn't have an answer to tell this man, but he knew, all he knew is that the man who healed me told me to pick up the mat and walk. That's why I picked it up. Like, can't you just be happy for me that now I'm healed? Can't you just be happy for me? Like, I know it's Sabbath, but isn't me being healed important to you? So later on, Jesus the man meets Jesus at the temple, and Jesus said to him, "See, you are well again. Stop sinning, or something worse may happen to you." So in the end, this man come across Jesus, and Jesus tells him that now you see you have been healed. God has restored you. Now don't go and sin no more. Don't go out there and start sinning, because when you continue to do that, now it's gonna be worse. Something worse is gonna happen to you. This kind of like enlightens to me to say that there are some other things that maybe we are going through for years and years. It is because of the sin, because the way Jesus is speaking as if this is going to be a repetition of like, you did this and then you ended up in this problem. And now, if you're going to go and sin again after you've been healed, now something worse is going to happen to you. That basically is going to be death, because what he went through was already worse. So this man, after meeting Jesus in the temple, he goes back to the Jewish leaders and let them know that the one who healed them is Jesus. We give God the glory for the healing there and the miracles that he did. But I just want to encourage somebody to say that, like this man who was sick for 38 years, you might have gone through a situation that seems not to change. A situation that you want it to end, but it doesn't end. The people who are around you, they know what you're going through. And when you look at them that they've got a solution to that your problem, or they can help you to push you further so that you can have an answer to your problem. But these people, they seem to not care of what you're going through. They don't care if you die or not, And I just want to encourage you that no matter how long you have had that problem, no matter how long you have had that problem, like this man, that he was there paralyzed and nobody was coming to his help, I want you to know that that problem has got an expiry date. If it has got a start date, if it had a start date, it's got a date where it will end. And sometimes it's not even by you doing anything. That man was just waiting there. He might have cried, he might have prayed, he might have asked God many times. But God was hearing his prayers. I want you to know that God is listening. However people have ignored you, God is listening to your cries. And he will come to your rescue when you least expect it. This time that Jesus came to the man who had been sick for 38 years, the man did not even expect. Even when he appeared, he was there speaking to him. The man did not even know who he was. He did not even know how Jesus had come there. He did not even know what to expect from him. That's why when the first question he asked, the man answered that he has got nobody, because he didn't even know who he was talking to. So when you least expect it, God will come through for you. The only thing what you have to do is don't give up. Stay where you are. Don't give up. Keep trying. You know, like how that man was trying. Although things were not working, keep trying. Don't give up. And focus on God. Focus on God. And in the end, when Jesus sees this man, he makes a point to the man to say, see now that you are well. See now that I've delivered you. See now that I've taken you out of that problem. Stop sinning. Otherwise, something worse is going to happen to you. Remember, the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. You know? So it's like now he only destroyed you. He did all those things. He did not kill you. Next time he'll come, he's going to do worse. So live a life that is of pleasing to God. And remember, God loves everybody. God loves you. And if you are going through a situation which has taken, I don't care how long, God is healing you. And when you least expect, when those people who are looking at you and knowing what you're going through and not wanting to help you, while they are looking, God will come through for you and deliver you. Even if they oppose and say to you that, oh no, you cannot be healed. Oh, this cannot happen. Oh, I don't believe. How did this happen? But when God has come to deliver you, he will deliver you no matter who opposes. Just as the Jewish leaders were opposing. But this man was healed. God set him free. So don't give up. Help is on the way. God loves you. I just wanted to encourage you to say that God is watching and God is listening and God loves you and he is there for you. So don't give up. Don't give up. Help is on the way. God bless you. Bye-bye.